The RitFit Gator Bench has been crowned king of adjustable benches for accessory movements. But the question is it only for accessory movements? I'm going to break down in this video who I think this bench is great for and who should avoid buying this bench altogether, because there is a subcategory of people that shouldn't buy this bench. This bench has a lot of bells and whistles, as you can see. Are they worth it? Are they a nice to have? Or are they just gimmicky? I'm about to break that all down for you in this review right here, right now. But first, I had to throw on a hoodie because my garage is freezing right now. Now, because I am a nice girl, I'm going to start off with the things that I like about this bench. Number one being that it's fairly easy to move around. It's light enough to move around, but the wheels could have been a little bigger. The wheels are small, so if you are taller than I am, you might have a hard time with the wheels because it does catch on the floor here and there. So if you're a taller person, you might have to have the bench more down here at this angle so that it wheels around nicely versus picking it up. It does have a nice handle here. I'm not going to say that it's a knurled texture. It's more of just textured, but it feels good in hand and makes it easier to move this thing around. The next positive about this bench is a really good looking bench. Hang on, let me take these off first. Anyways, as I was saying, this is a bad looking bench. You got the chrome on black. Gator was such an appropriate name for this bench. It really does look super cool with these off, of course. I don't know what it is, but these just look goofy to me, but it's okay. It doesn't matter because you can take them off as needed. You know, it really doesn't hurt RitFit to throw in these arm rollers anyways, because with or without these, I think this bench is worth the price point. If you don't want to use them, there is a nice spot in the frame of the bench to store them, and they stay stored when you tip your bench vertically to get it out of the way. So that's a nice thing. While we're on the topics of things that I like, let's talk about this vinyl and this foam. Most people don't like a slippery vinyl and a squishy foam. Now, I don't bench heavy enough or get sweaty enough that this vinyl bothers me, or I have found that I'm slipping around. But I do know from a lot of my buddies that this bench can be slippery when you're sweaty, so keep that in mind. Now, as far as the foam goes, it's not like you're sitting on it and you're squishing into it, but it is a little softer than most benches. So if you are doing some heavy bench pressing, this bench might not be the bench for you. Another honorable mention about this bench is it is a ladder style adjustment system, which just means if you need to make an adjustment, you simply pull up the backrest and boom. You don't have to lean over and mess with a pop pin. So I personally really like a ladder style adjustment system. Another nice to have is this, and this is kind of the star of the show. This is the new feature that a lot of benches have. The first bench to have this is the Exponent Edge. So now a lot of companies are following suit in that, and they're making their own accessory type style bench. And this is cool because you can do a lot of bent over rows, creature curls. You can do a whole bunch of movements with this headrest folding down. Now, this is probably a feature that you're going to be paying for and wanting the Gator for. I think all benches in the future are going to have this component because why not? You can turn it into a military type style bench by folding this all the way down, and you can do your shoulder presses. And like I said, there's a bunch of other accessory movements that you can do with this bench. Before I get into the negatives about this bench, let's go over important specs. This bench has a 1,600 pound weight capacity, which I believe because this thing's very solid. It weighs in at 109 pounds, so it's heavy enough to handle your lifts, but light enough to move it around easily. For your back pad adjustments, you have 10 angle adjustments from 0 to 85 degrees. And for the seat pad / butt pad, you have 3 adjustments, 0, 15, and 30 degrees. The Gator kind of declines. They call this the rear adjustment component. This will allow you a -7, a -4.5, and a -2.5 degree angle. I personally wouldn't throw this into a decline bench category since these angles won't benefit you too much, at least in my opinion. The seat / backrest gap is 2 inches. You'll be happy to know that I don't even notice the gap much with this bench, so that's a win. The width of the back pad is 11.8 inches and the full length of the bench is 57.8 inches. If you want more specs than that, you can go visit their website and it'll give you the full rundown there. There comes a time in each of my videos where I talk about things that could be improved or nitpicks, and the first nitpick I have is going to be down here at the bottom. Okay, so the first bad thing feels kind of like a nitpick, but I'm going to say it because why the heck does this thing not have a rubber under this? If you don't have rubber flooring, this bench is definitely going to slide around on you. So if you don't have rubber flooring, this bench isn't for you. My second nitpick has to do with the second star of the show, which are these arm rollers. I just find them to be very tedious to screw in and screw out. I wish the threading was shorter so I was making 3 passes rather than sitting there and really fiddling with it. Another issue with these arm rollers is, at least on my bench, on the bottom hole, one side screws in tighter than the other. So when I'm doing incline bicep curls, I can feel a gap. And it's really uncomfortable because obviously the other side doesn't have that gap. And naturally, when I tried to tighten the side that had the gap, I noticed that this foam was glued to this metal, and when I went to try to tighten it, the glue broke loose. So now the foam just kind of spins freely, which makes it hard to tighten these on and take them off. Something I brought up in the Garage Gym Life podcast is having these rollers be kind of a mix between the Kepi and this current design, and having these rollers be a half circle. This does a couple cool things. If you have one side rounded and one side flat, the side that's flat will be more convenient for preacher curls, and the side that's rounded will feel better for incline bicep curls. Another thing this does is when it is turned to the half circle, it'll be flush with this pad, and when it's turned to the flat angle, it'll be more recessed. So depending on how you prefer your incline bicep curls, you can really have the best of both worlds. Just some food for thought in case RitFit wanted to make a version 2 of this bench and make these rollers even more versatile and make it a really cool feature. My third nitpick is truly just a nitpick because this probably wouldn't bother anyone else. I just think this post right here is a little janky. You can tighten it with the pop pin a little bit, but it still wiggles and wobbles around. I almost wish this was just one solid post because I personally don't use -7 degrees. There might be some of you out there that appreciates that -7 degrees, so this could totally just be my opinion, but I do feel like this post is a little wobbly, and you can kind of feel it when you store it upright. Sheesh, would you guys look at this bench? This is a good looking bench. Now, I don't like to end my reviews on a negative note, so I'm going to go over some of the things that make this bench worth the price point. Number 1, it's stable. Number 2, it has plenty of adjustability. And number 3, it has all the bells and whistles that you could ever want, which does dub this the king for accessory movements. I could see this being an awesome bench if you are looking for a secondary bench for your home gym, just to have a light bench that's easy to move around and store it up out of the way when you need to. Another plus is it has the popular folding down headrest that everyone likes right now, and so really for the price point, you're getting a lot. If you guys are interested in buying the Gator, I do have a link down in the description below, and if you have found that you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and go subscribe. I would appreciate it a lot. Thank you guys for watching.